Hey,
Ah, heureusement, les contrôles là. Même في la poubelle. والله غنباصيو. على الاخر راني وحدي.
ميك مونديتيهم قولي صح.
كومونديتهم طيبتهم.
بركة.
ما كانش عندي الوقت.
وشنو الحاجة اللي نتمنى نقول؟
لو بوزوان نسيم لو بوزوان.
Welcome back to Jamaat Studio, where our stories are not just watched, they are experienced, dissected, and felt long after the screen fades to black. This episode opens with a feeling of imbalance. Not chaos, not immediate heartbreak, just imbalance. Something is slightly up, like a picture frame hanging just a little crooked on the wall. You can't ignore it, even if you try. From the very first scene, there is a subtle tension in the air, as through everyone senses that stability is temporary. The emotional core of this episode revolves around pressure, the pressure to maintain appearances, the pressure to protect secrets, and the pressure of living with decisions that refuse to stay buried. At first, everything appears controlled, conversations are measured, expressions are guarded. There is a collective effort to keep emotions contained. But beneath that calm surface lies exhaustion, the kind of exhaustion that feels when truth is constantly suppressed. As the story unfolds, small cracks to begin, and a fear, a defensive tone during a simple question, a hesitation before answering, a look that lingers a second too long. And these are not dramatic moments on their own, but together they create growing a sense of unease. Midway through the episode, the pressure intensifies, the confrontation becomes unavoidable, not because someone wants it, but because silence is no longer sustainable. The exchange is not explosive, it is controlled, almost restrained, but that restraint makes it more powerful. Even word feels carefully chosen, yet emotionally loaded. The brilliance of this episode lies in its realism. There are no exaggerated villains, no dramatic monologues designed purely for shock. Instead, the conflict feels painfully human. Pride clashes with vulnerability. Fear disguises itself as anger, and love struggles to survive beneath layers of misunderstanding. There is pivotal moment where a long hidden truth begins to surface. It doesn't erupt dramatically, it slips out away slowly, piece by piece, and when the full picture finally forms, it doesn't shock, it devastates because the truth confirms what everyone was afraid to admit. Trust has been weakened, not destroyed, but fractured, and fractures, even small ones, change the foundation of everything. The pacing here is deliberate. The episode refuses to rush toward resolution. It allows viewers to sit with discomfort, to feel the awkward silence, to witness the emotional distance growing in real time. And that slow burn creates a deeper impact than any sudden twist ever could. Visually, the episode mirrors its emotional themes. Rooms feels tighter, lighting feels dimmer, shadows seem heavier, even shared spaces feel isolating. It's as if the environment reflects the internal state of those within it, confined, uncertain, suffocated by unspoken words. As we move into the final act, something shifts not dramatically but internally. Realization replaces denial. Accountability begins to surface, and with it comes vulnerability. There is a scene near the end that defines the episode. A quiet moment of honesty, no shouting, no dramatic gestures, just two prospective finally meeting without pretense. And the conversation is not perfect. It is messy, emotional, imperfect, but it is real. And in that reality, there is a growth. The episode doesn't promise immediate healing, It doesn't wrap everything in satisfying resolution. Instead, it presents something more authentic, the beginning of understanding, the acknowledgement that damage has been done, and that repairing it will require patience, consistency, and humility. One of the most powerful themes here is accountability. It shows that apologies alone are not enough. Change must be demonstrated. Trust must be rebuilt slowly through action rather than promises. The final moments are subtle but impactful. There is no grand reconciliation, no sweeping declaration of forgiveness, just a shift in tone from hostility to reflection, from defensiveness to awareness, and that sometimes the quiet shift is more meaningful than dramatic closure. When the screen fades to black, the story doesn't feel complete, it feels ongoing, like life itself, complex, unresolved, still evolving. This episode stands out not because of shocking twist, but because of emotional honesty. It captures the fragile nature of relationship. It reminds us that misunderstanding grow in silence, that pride can delay healing, and that confronting the truth, no matter how painful, is often the only way to forward. What lingers most is the atmosphere, the weight of words left unsaid, the realization that every choice carries consequences, and the understanding that growth begins when denial ends. In the end, the episode is not about winning or losing, it is about facing reality. It is about choosing courage over comfort, and it is about recognizing that sometimes the hardest battles are fought within ourselves, and that quiet internal struggle is what makes this episode unforgettable. So, this has been your in depth dramatic review from Jamaat Studio, where every story leaves an echo long after ends. Until the next chapter unfolds, stay in